This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. It's so great to have you joining me here in these online lessons. It's a Technique Tuesday, and in this Technique Tidbit lesson, I'm going over the different picking styles, the different direction approaches for using a pick. And there's really just 5 of them. And a lot of times when we're playing music, we end up using a combination, though most of us end up preferring one the majority of the time. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. Now, to practice these or just sort of demonstrate them and work through them, I do have a diagram of that most common major scale form that we tend to go to when we're going to do a 2-octave major scale up here on the board, with the addition of having the 7th below that low root and that 2nd up above that high root. If you've been doing a lot of the Technique Tuesday lessons, we've been using this scale for demonstration purposes for all of the different scale exercises and so on that we've been doing. So it's probably familiar, but if not, it's up there as a reference point, and it's certainly something that would be really helpful to you to learn if you haven't learned it before. I'm going to demonstrate everything in B flat right in the center of the fretboard here. So my middle finger with that root where the squares are around the root is going to be at the 6th fret for B flat. And so I've just got that major scale right there. So picking direction is a huge thing. On these Technique Tuesday lessons, we've been working on all sorts of scale patterns, interval skips, and so on that can help with strength and flexibility, dexterity with our hands. In the last lesson, super cool, worked on a little classical piece etude that's meant to be done finger style, but we did it with a pick. Great thing for working that coordination between the right and left hands. In that lesson, I talked through some of the picking direction options that could be worked through with that sort of thing. Here we're going to work it in a scale. These could be applied to any of the scale patterns and any of the different types of exercises where we end up playing with a pick, or any different song that we end up playing with a pick. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. The first thing is we can do all down plucks. So if I play through that scale, all down plucks. So we just play right on through, just all down plucks. Just like that, and you can work that at various tempos. I've talked through these sorts of things in previous lessons where I've talked on technique and approach to the plucking hand and so on early on in these Technique Tuesday lessons, but I just mentioned that a lot of times I will anchor. I'll put that palm of my hand right on the saddle, not where I'm palm muting, but a little bit behind it, and just anchor there and work from that wrist. Stay nice and relaxed and keep things happening that way. So I can do all down plucks and be secure. Also, sometimes from all those years of anchoring, when I come up off, I'm still working in that same sort of anchored position, but I'm up in the air flying now. So that's just something I'll mention there. All down plucks. If it's a bit much doing the scale, I have talked through in previous lessons how you can do like 4 plucks, and then 2 plucks. You can do 3 plucks and 1 pluck, which is a great thing to do, especially as we get into some of these others. But we can do all up. Instead of just doing all down, we can do all up. And this one's a little bit tricky, but it's good to work that all up plucking. Just like that. And again, with this one, you could work all up with 4 plucks per note. You could do it all the way through with 3 plucks per note. You can do it all the way through with 2, and all the way through with 1, just like we did. At various tempos, getting it up to as fast as you can comfortably do it, staying relaxed. I've talked about that a lot on Technique Tuesdays. It's really important that we do things at a tempo where we can breathe, stay relaxed. We want to keep our muscles relaxed. We function best, we play best, we work best when we're doing all this sort of athletic activities that we're using our hands to do. This is a very athletic activity, playing the guitar for our hands. And involves the arms and the shoulders. But staying relaxed is super, super important. When we tighten up, we're going to sort of subject ourselves to more like likelihood of injury, stressing those tendons and muscles way more, and the ligaments too. So we want to stay relaxed. So doing these things at a slow tempo where you can breathe and stay relaxed, and then gradually speeding it up is really valuable. More often used once we get into playing is to alternate down and up, and we can do this based on the rhythm, meaning that when notes fall on the beat, we do a down pluck, and when notes fall on the up beat, we do an up pluck. When we're doing something like this right here with constant eighth notes, we don't see any real change to it. We're just going down and up the whole way through. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, all the way through, just alternating. Now, if there was some rhythmic differences, like things were on the beat, if I went 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 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 1. Then what I was doing there is anytime I was playing on the beat, I did a down pluck, and when I had in between the beat, I played the up pluck. So it was like down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, and so on. So that would be rhythmic based, just like that. Now, when we come to this fourth one, we're alternating regardless of the rhythm. We're just keeping the direction going constantly. And so that actually would be the same as when I first played here with the down, up, those constant eighth notes. I just keep that down, up going, so it doesn't create a difference. But I'm not always going to be doing down on the beat and up on the off beat with these. So another great way to practice just even the scales in variation is to start with that up pluck and go up, down, 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 up. Doing something like that is going to create some different, maybe make you uncomfortable in certain places where you get really used to doing that down, up, or on the beat and off the beat, which can be helpful to us because in music sometimes we're going to be flipping it. So you could play through it doing that sort of an alteration where you've flipped that picking direction to create a variation here. That would create a variation different than when we're going down up with everything being on the beat and on the off beat as we had first done there. The last way is sort of a combination of some of these, and that is what we call economy or sweep picking, or sort of the terms that get used for it. But we're going to do alternate picking anytime notes are on the same string, and really in this style. So we're just going to keep the picking direction alternating regardless of the rhythm. But what we do when we're switching strings is we just go with the pluck in the direction of where the string is going. So if we're going from a lower string to a higher string, we're going to be plucking towards the floor, so a down pluck. If we're going from a higher string to a lower string, where we're moving from towards the floor up towards our head, we're going to do an up pluck because that's moving in the direction of towards the floor and up towards our head. So otherwise, we just keep an alternate picking happening. Now, this creates economy, or makes it faster for some people, because the idea is you don't have to skip over a string to do an up pluck or skip over a string to do a down pluck. We just get to not skip over the string at all when we're changing directions. So if I do this in the scale, it's going to create a few changes. So I'm going to go down, up, and then it's already naturally a down, which makes sense there. Up, down. But here, when I get to this next string, I'm going to go down to down, because that way I'm not skipping over that string to pluck up. So I'm going to go down, down, and then I'm going to keep the alternate picking going. So up, down, again, down, up, down, down, up, and then down's naturally there. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So you can and see how that changes things up. And having worked all 4 of these options with the scale, it makes doing this one kind of easy. So that way we don't have to jump over a string, and it's supposed to save a little time. So again, down, up, down, up, down, then down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, 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 down. Would be working that. Of course, if we start working arpeggios into the scale patterns and things, then we may end up using this even more. Or we may end up with a bunch of downs in a row if we're going from string to string. But these are the different types of picking direction options that are out there. Players tend to sort of gravitate especially towards these 3, their favorite ones. I find myself doing probably mostly this one, and then occasionally these other 2, just depending on a given passage. But when we take in a technique setting and just work it through a scale, work it through arpeggios, or like in the last lesson, working through a little song with a pick, those types of things, where we work through the different options, that helps us build the techniques. And then when we're playing music, it's just that much easier to take the one that works best for that setting. So super fun. That wraps us up for this Technique Tuesday lesson. Hope that is super helpful to you. Now we've got lots of previous Technique Tuesday lessons, Technique Tidbit lessons that cover various topics. The Technique Tuesdays are going to suspend for a little while. There won't be another one next week or the week after. We're going to have a little break for a little while, and that's just because there's so many different series on the channel that cover so many different techniques that pertain to a given style that I don't want to double up on things. So we're just going to take a little break here, and then we'll see where we need some more supplementing of what's happening on those other lessons with those other lesson series. Right now we have Mondays and Wednesdays where we've got jazz lessons coming out. On Thursdays, we have 30 Thursdays. On Saturdays, we're working on improvising in the jazz, rock, and blues pop styles. Those are the pop, rock, and blues styles, not the jazz. That's on the jazz lessons, but super fun stuff there. And then there's hundreds and hundreds of lessons already on the channel, over 900 lessons. There's series that cover finger picking. There's series that cover strumming. There's series that just take you through as a basic beginner learning to play. There's quick answer videos that help with a lot of different topics. There's just so many different great lessons, and there will be more to come as we continue to finish these series. I've also got some albums I got to work on, so I need a little bit more time from doing these lessons each week. We also, and the other thing is that the Theory and Technique book, the new edition, will be out soon, and that has lots and lots of help, technique-wise, theory-wise, just guitar playing-wise, so lots of great things. Keep having fun, take care, and we'll see you again.
If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more in-depth lessons and to progress through a free guitar course, check out my Guitar 101 series on YouTube and my guitar method books, which all come with access to hours of in-depth video lessons. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com. Take care.